Hey y'all, this is Ashley and this is my second trimester update. So by far the most amazing part of the second trimester is the first time I felt him move. We were camping, we were in the woods. I woke up that morning and I felt a very distinctive movement. The days leading up to that, I'd been, everything. I'm like, is that him moving? Is that him moving? I was just anticipating knowing that first time. And so when I felt him move and it was 100% him, it was the most amazing feeling. It was an instant bond beyond what I'd had before that. I knew he was there, but just feeling him inside of me is, I don't really have the words to describe that feeling for the first time. And it was truly amazing. Luckily, Matt got to feel him just a couple weeks later. And that was a really memorable day between the two of us also. And that was around week 19 that I felt him move. When I went to my 20-week ultrasound, Matt actually got to go with me. And if you watched my other video, you know I was maybe slightly emotional and maybe a little devastated that he didn't get to go to the very first ultrasound appointment. So the fact that he got to go to our 20-week and it was a longer ultrasound just meant a lot to both of us. And finally he got to, I guess, in person enough, see our son. So that was really, really cool. And just that whole ultrasound altogether is really neat because we got to see all like 4 chambers of his heart and we got to see his stomach, and they would talk you through, like, you can tell in his stomach he's practicing swallowing. And so all those little things were really, really neat. And we got a ton of pictures from that. So that was really fun too. So between week 24 and 28 a lot was going on. For one, our son was having a huge growth spurt during that time because when I went to my 24-week appointment and then came back for my 28-week appointment, I'd gained 10 pounds, which that's kind of a lot. So that was a little more than they wanted me to gain. And if in my past video, I know I had some worries about like gaining weight. I don't even care anymore. He's growing and he's doing good. And my doctor just says, like, you're one of those people who you gain a lot of weight and then you don't gain weight for a few weeks and then you gain a lot. So I could tell he had gotten a lot bigger because, like, simply opening the refrigerator door, I would bump my belly because I wasn't allowing enough space to open doors and stuff like that. I still kind of do that some, but gaining that much weight in that shorter period of time, it took me a little adjustment. During those weeks, I'm like, I just feel big. But after I got used to it, I'm like, okay, well, this is just where I am. But it was, I don't know, it was just funny to see my body change that much in such a short period of time. But it was also really fun because I knew that he was doing really well and he was doing what he was supposed to, which is growing and getting stronger. Also during that time frame, we had some work to do out in Colorado. So we're like, this is a perfect time to take an Airstream trip out there and camp along the way and have a mini baby moon and work trip all rolled into one. So that was a really fun time for us to get to spend time together, have some downtime, and just really enjoy it. Also on that trip, when I was packing, I realized, I'd gained some weight that month. None of my clothes fit. So I had to make an emergency purchase of a few maternity items so I would actually have things to wear. And my sweet sister-in-law gave me a few shorts, so that worked out well. But it's just weird when one week you could wear something and then you go to put it on the next week and it's not anywhere near fitting. Like, I couldn't even make stuff work anymore. So that's, I don't know, it's weird. It's like the only time in my life I've ever had to deal with that. When I went to Colorado, it was dry, but I was still kind of congested and I had nosebleeds. So it was just a lot of symptoms going on with my whole like respiratory system the whole time we were there. I was really happy to get back to humidity, but my hair looked amazing when we were out there because no humidity did great things for it. So that's a bonus. We discovered that he really likes music, and if he's not moving and we turn on certain songs, especially if it has a good beat, you can start feeling him move. And has done that ever since. So that's been really fun for us to kind of introduce him to music we like and see what he reacts to. Especially because my husband loves music. So it's been really fun as we've discovered, like, oh, he really likes this artist or this type of song. And that's been, I don't know, just kind of like a family event that we do together is listen to music already. I had my 1 hour glucose test. And so this is something I had actually been dreading from the beginning of my pregnancy. I don't know exactly why. I don't really consume a lot of unnatural sugar and chemicals. And so I didn't really want to consume that much sugar at one time. But finally I was like, okay, I'll just do the test because I want to make sure that my body is doing what it's supposed to. So he is okay in there. And so I did the 1 hour glucose. Luckily, my doctor's office had the dye-free glucose, which made me feel a little bit better that there wasn't a lot of artificial dyes in there. And so I took that test, and one of my fears was that I was going to fail it. I'm like, it's because I don't drink soda. I don't really consume that kind of stuff. I think my body's going to freak out. And I did. I failed it. I may have been a little emotional the day I got that phone call too. I think it's just a pregnancy thing. So I found out I failed it, and they wanted me to come in for the 3-hour test. And also, failing, they need a new word for that. I mean, they're like, you're failing at this. Why don't they just say you didn't pass? Maybe that would be a better word. Something to consider, doctor's offices. But so they wanted me to do the 3-hour test. I really did not want to because that's consuming 100 grams of sugar. And I don't know, I wasn't really down with that. So I called my doctor's office, and they okayed for me to do 2 weeks of just checking my sugar 4 times a day. And so I did that. All my numbers looked great except for one. I had a muffin for breakfast, maybe several muffins, and my body did not react well to that. But other than that one number, all my numbers looked great. And so they said, it's fine. I don't have to do the 3-hour test, and everything looks good, and I don't have gestational diabetes. So if you do fail your first 1-hour test and you don't want to take the 3-hour test, maybe you're okay just checking your sugar 4 times a day. We have a really amazing family who threw us a baby shower. We weren't sure if we were going to get to have one, so the fact they took time out of their life to just recognize this special time and also really to honor our son just means the world to us. We're not really center of attention kind of people, so we wouldn't have wanted that for ourselves, but when people love on your children or child, it just means so much. So to us, that was just really all about him. And I don't really have the words to say how much that meant to us, that so many people took time out of their lives. My family took time to drive 5 hours here just to celebrate. And it was really special. And just the amount of care they put in just to like the theme and decor to make sure that it really fit us and him. It was more than we expected, and we appreciate that so much. And it was really fun to get to see everyone, and also a little overwhelming because apparently babies need a lot of things is what we've learned. So it's been kind of a learning process for 2 people who don't really know anything about babies or kids, but I've loved every single second of it. Some of my symptoms I've had during the 2nd trimester is just some cramping as my body has begun to grow and make room for him to grow more. It's just been stretching everything out. So I've had a little cramping, and that even extended to my back and my round ligament pains, just as everything began to grow. Eventually that did kind of calm down a little bit. I guess as it stretched out some, it wasn't quite as much. I've also had the joy of having heartburn, which is miserable. And luckily it's something I don't deal with very much, except now during pregnancy. So I really didn't want to take anything like Prilosec or Nexium or even Tums and Rolaids. So I've been trying some natural things, and things that have worked for me is I have a turmeric tea with meadowsweet in it, and that will help. It's a hot tea. And that the turmeric also will help with some of my achiness too. And then the other thing, and this sounds very counterintuitive, but it really works for me, is twice a day I'll have a big glass of water with some apple cider vinegar in it. And the apple cider vinegar I have also has honey in it, which is really good for you. And then I add lemon to it. So I drink that in breakfast and I drink it after supper. And it sounds counterintuitive because I'm adding more acid, but a lot of times you'll get acid reflux when your stomach's not making enough acid. So if you're having heartburn issues, then maybe try that. It may work for you. It's definitely helped me, and I do it every day, and it took about a week or so before I really felt everything calm down a little bit. I'm not saying I never get heartburn, but it is dramatically less than it was. Because there's a lot of nights I was just sitting straight up in bed because that's all I could do. I couldn't lay down. So heartburn's been a thing. And the other thing I've had is like nighttime leg cramps. And so if you've ever had them, it's that joyous feeling of all you're doing is trying to roll over and stretch your legs out and everything just seizes up. That has calmed down a little bit, but there for a few weeks, I felt like my legs were always cramping. I've definitely tried to drink more water to help with that and been drinking more coconut water to get some electrolytes. And that seems to have helped a little bit too. So overall, I've had a great second trimester. I have gotten bigger. I've gotten used to that size. It's harder to tie my shoes now. It's just weird for things like that. And I think I laugh every time I see myself in a mirror because I'm like, I still can't believe I'm pregnant. It's surreal. And I think it's going to be like that until he gets here. And then it's going to be surreal that we have a son. But it's been really, really fun. I would love to hear your experiences with your second trimester. Has it gone good? Did it go bad? Did you have every symptom in the book? Just leave comments below. Tell me your story. Connect with other people. And thank you for watching.